Well, here I am again. You're probably wondering where I am by the background. My wife Cindy and I are in Lathrop, Missouri now on vacation. And I decided to drive down to Lathrop to their antique power grounds, do a few videos. And right now I'm standing inside a Koerhing excavator, which I don't think, if I remember right, wasn't here last year. So I'm going to start out by showing you some of the insides. I have no idea what year this machine is. It's powered by a 671 GM 2-stroke diesel. I don't think the machine, I have no idea what the year the machine is, but I don't think it's as old as it looks like from the outside. And I'm estimating it's about 1.25 yard machine. The reason I don't think it's as old as it appears from the outside is you can see all the enclosed gear drives for the drums and the swing. So most of the machines I see all the way through the 30s and into the 40s have open gears. I'm going to try and find out what year it is. And you can see the plaque there. It's size 101, number 1465. Where it says ton, it doesn't have any number stamped in there. Here you can see the operator station. The operator station looking back, and you see the big, huge enclosed gearbox, and then open clutches and brakes. And it doesn't have a front on it, but I'm estimating that it was a shovel, or guessing that it was a shovel, because it has this would be the drum for the trip for dumping the bucket, and the cable is still on it for it. So I'd figure it would have a shovel front on it. And judging from the color of the dust, it probably came out of, that's all over it, probably came out of a quarry somewhere, a stone quarry. Here you can see it from the front, the gantry. Now here, I got my iPad propped up, and I'm going to walk up to it just so I'm 6 feet tall, so you can judge how big this machine is. So you could see it's a rather large machine. Maybe it's even 1.5 yard machine. Well, here's their Northwest shovel. There's a bunch of the parts for the shovel front. You see the shovel front, the dipper stick is off of it. This was here last year. I looked at it. It doesn't look like they've made much progress. I'll be talking to Jim and ask him if they've made any progress. I'm going to take a walk inside of it. I like it when they're big enough where you say I can take a walk inside of it. Well, I climbed inside of it. Here's the operator station. See, this is an old enough machine. All manual controls, no air controls. You Northwest guys, I'm sure, know a lot more about this machine. There's all kinds of levers. Being never been in the Northwest, I have no idea what does what. And look in the back. It has a big Murphy diesel. I guess Murphy was used a lot in Northwest from what I've heard. I'm going to take a walk around to the back side of it. Here's the back side of the Murphy diesel. I see there, direct electric start. You better have the battery cables on tight with a good contact when you hit that starter, or it'd just melt. I have no idea of what year this machine would be either. If I find the serial number, I'll mention it, because some Northwest guys out there maybe be able to determine what year it is. But this machine also has enclosed gear case, so I suspect it isn't. Oh, I would think in the 40s anyway. But then again, I don't really know. I see this machine has internal expanding clutches and external contracting drum brakes. Where the Koerhing, I believe when I was in looking at it, that has external brakes and external clutches. Now, this has the two drums, one in front of the other. Some machines have them side by side. And this drum would be for the digging action. And if that's, I believe that's what you'd call it on a shovel, for lifting up the bucket, digging. And this drum would control the crowd, which pushes the dipper sticks in and out to push the bucket into the bank. This, as you can see, the crowd has drive in both directions. They have this big chain drive back to a clutch back here to run this drum in one direction, and then on the end of the drum is the clutch to run the drum in the other direction. And I put my hand by the chain just to give you an idea how big that chain is. And I believe this little drum down here would be the to trip the bucket to dump it. I see there's still a cable on it, but I believe that's the trip for the bucket. It looks as though they put a new radiator core in it. That was in it last year already, so it doesn't really look like there's been much work done to it since last year. There you can see there are some exposed gears where you have the one clutch for the crowd running in one direction, and on that shaft is the clutch for the crowd in the other direction. Here's the drum for the boom hoist. Well, I don't know if you call it a boom on a shovel. They'll call it the stick or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, here these two machines are. Look to be about the same size machines. Northwest and a Koerhing. Here, I don't know what you'd call these ore cars, but obviously they weren't for on rails because the wheels don't have a lip to keep them on rails. This is their rock crusher. I see it's Universal Crusher Company, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So Universal, that's the same make of the crusher on my Russell crushing plant in 1920s Baraboo rock crushing video. But this one is considerably smaller than the jaw crusher on that Russell crushing plant. Here you can see the jaws. I'd estimate it at about 5 or 6 by about 16-inch jaw opening. And the jaws look to be in quite good shape. I'm sure they've been welded up, but they got a lot more ribs to them. The ones in mine are a lot smoother than that at the bottom. Now here's a dyno for checking horsepower. I think I can describe a little more from the other side. You can see they hook the flat belt up there, which you turn this drum, this whole drum turns, and then slowly apply brake pressure to the drum, which in turn puts pressure down onto scale. And I don't know how it works, the formula to figure with RPM and how many pounds of pressure at the distance from the center of the shaft. Somehow they calculate horsepower and torque, I believe, but I really don't know how that works. And you can see they have a water line connection that they hook up to run water on the inside to keep it cool, because you can imagine otherwise the amount of heat that continuous pressure would put up on the brake. And also it looks to be like, instead of some type of brake lining, it looks like to be hardwood blocks that are attached to the band all the way around for the braking resistance. Here's an Alice Chalmers loader and a couple little clee tracks. You see how they made bigger track pads? They welded channel iron on upside down so they'd have more flotation and smooth pads. And here on this cleat track, on this one, you can see they have grousers which could be taken off so you'd have smooth pads, or just replace the grousers when they wear down without replacing the entire track shoe. And out front by the road here, they have Caterpillar RD4, a threshing machine, an Alice Chalmers K, and an F20 up on a pole. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you again, and I'll probably be out here more this week videoing some more equipment.